Hi, it's Chris from Clearly Crafted Artistic Design. Hope everyone's staying safe. And I'm sure we're all inside right now. So I have been working on this green and white vase. How I did the green and white was already posted in another video. And now I knew I wanted to add a daffodil to this. I had actually ordered some daffodil napkins. It's March, so I was thinking Easter. I've done a few things for Easter. So I'm just slowly applying this side to side. And this is slightly curved, so I want to make sure I'm careful with my application, because when you have the curved pieces, well, they look really neat. That's when things get wrinkled. You're more apt to get a wrinkle as you try and go around a curve. So I really liked this design. I'm not sure if it's going to be too light. If it's really light, then I'll need to go back and I'll probably paint some of the yellow details for the flowers to get them to show up, which is something that you can definitely do after everything's dried and I have a couple more coats of Mod Podge on. That's the nice thing about the Mod Podge. You can then paint with acrylics over it to add highlights and accents, and sometimes some of these colors just become so translucent with the glue and depending on what the background is. The background on this, you can see, is pretty translucent too. So if this was a very flat white, it would stand out better. But I wanted to do the mulberry paper background, because sometimes I use these for more than just vases. I like them to have lights in them, and you can make them into little lanterns too, so that they have multi-purposes. I'm one that likes to have things do different things for me. If I'm buying something, I want to be able to use it for many things, not just one thing. That's why usually my pieces have two different sides that are a little different. Well, they match, they're a little different. So if you get tired with the way the one side looks, you can turn it around and get to the other side. Now this, I'm going to turn this. I like my Lazy Susan here. It makes working on things easier. You can see I did that half. I tend to go half. It's easier when you have a bigger piece to go down that middle. And I'm just going to finish applying. And I don't want too much glue. That's when it gets sticky and things start to tear. So I'm just gently applying and pushing with my clean dry finger. Now if I feel like I have glue on my finger or my finger suddenly feels wet, I'm going to dry it off right away. Usually that would be why I usually have glue marks on my pants. So this is just a slow, steady process. This is the piece that you don't want to rush, because you've already done all of the work on the background. And I think the background is important, is just important as what you're putting on top, because I think it really brings some interest to the piece. I want to make sure I'm not putting that down, because that's not dry over there. If I roll it onto the paper towel, it will stick, and then I'll say all kinds of bad words, and I'm on camera. So. My husband says he's the construction worker, and I curse like the construction worker. I'm being good on video. You can see I'm just slowly applying this. And I'm going to keep going. You can see this little bit that's over the green there. I'll definitely want to touch that up with some yellow, potentially some white highlights and accents. Now if I roll this too much, you can see I'm just kind of holding it on my hand as I do it, because if I roll it too much, it's going to then get onto the area that's still wet. brush. Let's see here. There's a few little creases. They will go away when I put it on a top coat. And if you, sometimes you can't help but have a crease, but you have the ability to make it work in your favor. Like there's times where I've made a little cut in an area, or you put the crease where it blends, or it's where it looks like there should be a crease. Some of the napkins too, some of the better napkins have almost a little bit of a stretch to them. Not a lot, it's not like you can pull on them and it's not like they're elastic, but they have a little bit of give once they get hit with the glue, so they're a little more forgiving. So we are pretty much attached. I'm just going around. So people are tempted to start going around the edges and getting those edges down. Don't. What that does then is seals the edge, and if you're trying to push an air bubble out, or when you're going to go out, it's sealed, and that's how you're getting bubbles. So what I like to do is just leave those edges that are up a little bit, and I'm going to start from the middle with my Mod Podge, and I am just going to do nice single strokes up and out, and then I'm going to go from the middle all the way around. And you can see that's where you'll definitely see some little creases and lines, but if you go along them with your brush, they don't tear. And these brushes I have, I mean, there's great brushes out there. These are cheapos from Walmart because I feel like the Mod Podge is very difficult to get out of my brushes. So I change out brushes. I've run them under hot water. I wash them with soapy water, but I still feel like they quickly get hard and they're not what I want to use them for my paints. So I keep my paint brushes separate from my Mod Podge brushes. It's just my personal preference. But I'm gonna finish doing this, and I will be back with another video to show you how to finish it off. All right, thanks for watching.